Welcome to what?
Minimum effort.
Huh? What?
Minimum effort.
What's happening? Minimum? Is it? Oh, minimum effort podcast though. We're
Changing
here.
it up. We're
Changing it up. We're wearing our muwashis, and we're here to talk about
Sumo, and this time we're talking about Sumo.
Yes,
so since JJ learned all the stuff from the stables and from Konishiki, he has been implementing those things he learned to his practices. Can you tell us about your practices, JJ?
Yeah, so the practices have been fun for me. So we are starting off in a minimum number of shikos. So regardless of how many people are there, we're doing at least 100. When you're walking walking up to the stable and all you can hear are shikos and tempo, I'm like, oh, right? And just seeing people die from doing shikos, I can do them. I have no problem doing them, but sometimes I feel that weird American guilt, like, oh, we're focusing too much on the fundamentals of this. People want the flashy shit, the flashy this, which is probably still true. But we ended up doing around 150 shiko. And then
properly?
We added in.
Did you guide everybody to get properly?
I guided them the best I could. So they weren't the best, but they were way better than normal. And that's why I went to 150 and not 100, is because I felt like 50 of them were a little off. So the last 50 people really had to dial it in. And honestly, it was like, I kept giving them like 10 more if they're right, 10 more if they're right, 10 more if they're right. So that's why we went to about 100.
Again. Oh, that's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's going to be as good as it's going to be. And for those that want to do it correctly, they are. And the ones that don't are, going to listen to their bodies. And if they're going to be a little bitch about it, they're just going to be a little bitch. That's fine. We all have our capabilities mentally, physically. I want to throw some shout outs to some of the guys like Marshall. Marshall really put in a lot of work. He recently hurt his back a little bit deadlifting. So he was trying to figure out like what he could do while he's kind of recovering from it. And he showed up to practice pretty much all the way through. Didn't do many live rounds, but he was able to do most of the drilling. So I give him my protocol with a little bit of band work and a little bit of Suriashi in the pool and Shiko's in the pool. Nice. Let me tell you something about that. It's a lot harder than you think it would be. So as you're going and you're doing the Shiko, like all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking hit my head on the pool. I'm moving. You really have to embrace that core to bring yourself back. Also have to shout out Mike. Mike is that guy is ridiculous. He's we've been able to analyze some of the things I do because he has eyes on the outside, so he can kind of help me out with some of my tachi issues. And his tachi has gotten so much better. He's always asking questions and working. And then, from there, everybody else is pretty awesome. But those are like the guys that I'm going to uplift because they do a lot. They've been putting in a lot. We ended up selling off some of the muwashis that we bought.
I was going to ask about that. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So I only brought 3. Kellyanne still has a couple of mine. But I was able to sell off 2 of the 3, and then 1 of them is going to be sold fairly soon. He just didn't have the money.
Okay.
But it's nice to be able to sell muwashis.
Does it feel different when you're grabbing the muwashis?
No, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, since the dimensions are all the same, it feels the same as your muwashi that you donated to the club. Where it was soft, it felt a little lighter, a little softer because it's been washed multiple times. These already kind of feel sort of like that.
Okay.
Right? Which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. And once again, the dimensions are the same. It's 65 by 6. It's perfect. It's perfect. So you know, we started doing the Ichioshi, and that one, the secret to it is to wear socks.
You
So
wear
I
sock
have-
on the back leg, right?
No, so I did it with both.
It
with both.
If you put just a back leg, that gives you a little more.
So the reason why is to promote the person to fall forward more. Right. So that if you don't, the person has the tendency to just kind of hold the chest up. And I'm not gonna hold for everyone. We need to like build people to hold properly. So that was part of it, is just making sure that people were there, like falling forward, ready to receive. And
yeah, that's a thing too. Like those kind of Butsukari and like Ichoshi, it's not just for the person, it's practice for the person taking it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I
really
legit used that technique when I went against Eric at the Takeshi training. Because my Tachi sucked so bad that I had to weather the storm somehow. And it was literally receive and then go from there.
Yep.
Which was super fun. So those are the things like right off the bat that we're doing. And then of course focusing in on Suriashi, and we
really focusing, getting that fundamentals down, right?
I legit didn't show any throws or anything along those lines because we really need to dial in our tachi, right? And I feel pretty confident with most of the people's throws when grappling happens. I feel pretty comfortable, and then I can assess the situation for person to person. Like if they're in a match, I'm like, dude, if you would have did this, it would have been pretty good. But just staying on the focus of pushing forward, really focusing on pushing, and that's kind of been big. The Buscati at the end has been amazing.
Do you go actual Butsukari, come back?
Yeah. And then we add in and so we're doing the Ukemi too.
Oh yes, nice. Yeah,
so we're doing the Ukemi too, and we're going back and forth. I think we're at 10, or not at 10, at 8.
10 is the number I usually do at high school here. So
10 is too. We're not there. Right. If I do that, I'm going to lose more people. But speaking of that, at the very end, we did the I don't remember what it's called, but Dallas Sumo calls it the murder training, where you hold the mawashi, you squat down, you suriashi around.
In Japan, it's imomushi, caterpillar,
imomushi.
Like because you're moving, synchronizing, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That one, surprisingly enough, really messed up Mike.
He got dizzy. Hard, man. You do 1 circle or 3?
5.
Dude, that's too much. That is too much.
I was feeling it. I was feeling pretty happy about it. But of course, because I'm JJ and I may or may not have murdered people, because we're doing back-to-back days. The second day was me, Mike, and a bunch of kids, where we showed the kids a bunch of techniques, which was super fun. And then the following week, we had me, Mike, and Angel, and nobody else showed up.
Really?
I might have went too hard, or this is just that weird flow where people
hopefully that's all it is.
I think that's what it was, because I sold a lot of mawashis.
Because
I would be really sad if I sold mawashis and they're like, I'm done.
Marshall is serious about sumo, so I think it's for him.
For him, it's back and just timing wise, that makes sense. We got I don't know if you knew the kid Christian. He showed up,
I think so,
a couple times with a Japanese guy named Sun.
No, I don't know.
No, but he's back. He lost like 30 pounds. I guess he hurt it. He hurt his knee, and the way that he hurt his knee was, and this was like the very first day that Mike showed up. So it's like in my head, the very first day that Mike showed up, he hurt his knee, and he was going with me, right? And it was one of those like, I'm driving him out and he won't step out, right? And it's like dead to rights, and I keep going. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's happening right now, so I keep going, and then he falls and collapses on his knee. I think he might have tore his meniscus a little bit, somewhere along those lines. I'm like, dude, just step out. You're dead to rights. You had nothing left. And he's like, I didn't want to lose. It's like, well,
you want to lose anyway.
To lose, right?
Yeah.
But I remember Mike being there because we get Christian to the side, and like he's recovering. We're focusing in on him. Mike goes, "Put me in, coach. Put me in." I'm like, player, you didn't put your mawashi on. Like, you didn't warm up. You just want to hop in. And he's like, yeah, put me in. I was like, no.
You got too
and then I saw the crazy in his eyes. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like Mike a lot. This is gonna
and you
be
do,
dude.
and you do really do like it.
And then Christian was out for 4 months, and then Mike picked it up. So it was kind of cool to see them together again.
Yeah.
Huh?
How about Aiden in socks? I haven't seen Aiden in socks for a while.
So Aiden is Aiden, Socks, and we have a pair of brothers. Who normally go to judo and sumo and all of those things. They've been MIA because they're doing a Muay Thai fight today.
Oh, so Aiden's moved more. All of them.
Yeah, they're all Muay Thai literally today.
Okay.
So they didn't do sumo last weekend or this weekend because they're doing Muay Thai today.
But they're still into it.
On that shit.
They're still into sumo?
I'm assuming so. I don't know. They're grown ass men. Whatever they want to do, whatever. But I think it was just like the utilizing the time and such. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they picked
Aiden
up
was cutting weight aggressively. I think he cut like 15 pounds or some shit like that. So,
okay. Well, just wondering the younger guys, how the younger guys are doing.
Aiden also bought a Mawashi, so. Yeah. In my head, if you buy a Mawashi, you can never quit.
Enrique, that's you.
Enrique, are you there? Are you there?
Are you watching
us?
Back
to practice.
We got a heavyweight for you now.
We do have a heavyweight, and he's a tough son of a bitch.
But that's been practiced.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. And
this is how you're gonna make the best. This is how you're gonna make the best wrestlers in the US.
This is true. I can't believe that I'm doing push-ups in class again. I don't know. That's just one of those things. I was like, well. And then when you really think about it, you're like, oh yeah, that would be important for sumo.
Yeah.
You should really do push-ups.
Notice the push-ups, you want to keep your close to your body. To your body.
So you're not cholos.
It's
Yep.
Correct. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's the new format for a Honu sumo practice. If you want to die, Honu sumo.
Yep. And it's all because of Konishiki. Thank you so much, Konishiki Sama-san. Sama-san, Ozeki Sama-san, sir. You have helped us develop, hopefully
maybe the next
see
5
years, these guys are doing right.
Maybe we have more American Rikishi in professional sumo.
Yeah, we have one coming up.
Oh yeah, Musashi Maru's nephew. The second one, because there was Musashi Kuni and he retired, and then his younger brother is back in it. Yep.
So, more Americans doing sumo. I'm happy about it. Let's keep it going.
All right. And this is
with that, I'm going to say bye. Minimum effort. We put in effort, sort of. I mean, I didn't even put a shirt on.
Yeah, we took off our shirts.
All right, that's it.